Some of the worst advice I ever followed didn't sound reckless at all. It sounded disciplined, responsible, strong. It sounded like a kind of advice you'd expect to hear from coaches, athletes, high performers. And that's exactly why I followed it for years. If you've ever been praised for being tough and driven and disciplined, there's a good chance that you've followed some version of this advice too. And maybe you're still paying the price for it. So today, I want to talk to you about 3 pieces of advice that shaped how I trained for years, how I lived in my body, and how I eventually had to unlearn almost everything I thought strength actually meant. You know, what's tricky about bad advice is that it often works at first. It delivers results. It earns you praise and accolades. It reinforces identity. But eventually, the bill comes due. For me, these 3 ideas weren't separate rules. They were more of a mindset, almost a worldview. And they went something like this. Advice number 1, ignore your body. It's lying to you. Some of the versions of this are things like pain is weakness leaving the body, which I guess is marginally true, but it sounds like a very harsh indictment, like your body is not intelligent. Your mind quits before your muscles do. If you can still move, you're fine. Sound familiar? I mean, as a child of the 60s and 70s, it sounds like that, rub some dirt on it. But when it comes to longevity, that's not really the best way to move through life. I was taught explicitly and implicitly that my body couldn't be trusted. Fatigue wasn't information. Pain wasn't communication. So over time, discomfort wasn't a signal to me. It was something to conquer. It was something I had to override. I learned to push past soreness, exhaustion, and the warning signs because that's what serious people did. And here's the dangerous part, which seemed positive at the time. I was rewarded for it. I did get stronger. I got leaner. I got compliments. So I must be on the right track, right? No one pulls you aside when things are working and says, hey, this is going to catch up with you. Instead, people around me would say, you're so disciplined. I'm so inspired by your work ethic. Well, I mean, that doesn't sound like I was doing something wrong if I'm inspiring other people and I'm just always outperforming and going above and beyond. And it took a while for it to sink in what was actually happening to me. So that's why I'm sharing these with you today. Is sometimes we learn lessons over time and then want to share that to maybe spare you some of the headache. Advice number 2, rest is for people who aren't serious. Can you believe that? Now that comes in different forms. One way it was bundled was rest days are for the weak. Sleep is optional. Recovery is something you earn after you've pushed hard enough. The unspoken part of that is if you're resting, someone else is outworking you. I even remember someone saying, when you're sleeping, your competition is pumping weights. Well, then you're always behind. You're always having to chase something. And that line sticks with you. So I treated rest like a character flaw instead of a biological requirement to get stronger and to have better progress, especially as I got older. I didn't understand how the nervous system really worked. I didn't understand the recovery cycling. I didn't understand that adaptation happens after the workout, not so much during it. And I just knew how to push. I do have a work ethic as a child of the 60s and 70s. And pushing feels so productive until it doesn't. Now, advice number 3, Your body is a problem to be managed. So this may be the most damaging one of all in summary, because somewhere along the way, my body stopped being my partner. And it became this problem, this entity that I had to whip into shape, something to control, to shrink, to discipline. It's something where my mind could make my body outperform. If my body resisted, it was because I wasn't trying hard enough. There was no curiosity about that trajectory at the time, only correction. Because I was making progress, to be honest. But when I look back, I wonder if it actually slowed me down quite a bit. When you combine that mindset with ignoring signals and skipping recovery, you create a perfect storm, especially for high capacity, high discipline people. People like you and people like me. Here's the truth I want to convey. You can't dominate your body forever. Eventually, it's going to demand a conversation. And it may demand it in a way that isn't pleasant. For me, that conversation didn't come gently. What I thought was strength turned out to be disconnection. What I thought was discipline turned out to be disregard. What I thought was resilience was actually me outpacing my support systems. That moment when the old rules snap, they stop working, that's not a failure. It's, in a way, it's kind of a relief because it feels authentic. And it's an invitation to come back into conversation with my body. And what I know now that I want to share with you that came to me after decades of training, teaching, coaching, and living in this body. Real strength is not built by ignoring your body. That just resonates as truth, doesn't it? Just hearing it. Real strength isn't built by ignoring your body. It's built by listening to it. Resilience isn't about always pushing harder beyond the boundaries. It's about knowing when to push and when to back off and when to stop and recover. And longevity doesn't come from controlling your body. I know we need to have self-control. We need to have habits in place. We need to keep ourselves on the path. But real healthy longevity comes from respecting your body. Your body is not lying to you when it's telling you fatigue or pain or strain or exhaustion. It's communicating with you. The goal is never domination over. The goal is partnership through life. So, my friends, if you have been following advice like I did that tells you to override, suppress, outwork your biology, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not weak for needing rest. You are not undisciplined for paying attention. And you are not failing because the old rules stopped working. You're simply evolving as you should. And that shift, when it happens, goes from control to collaboration. And that changes everything. This is the time when you can feel that shift and look back on your past and see the places in your life where this rings true, even if you weren't quite ready to take it in and practice it. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which of these rules you were taught or which ones you are ready to retire. And as we step through the threshold of this brand new year, I think we're ready. We're ready to listen to our bodies. We're ready to move forward and evolve naturally with the intuition that you were born with. Stay strong, my friends, and let's stay connected.